So this is Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to welcome to Seconds Out for the first time, unbeaten super middleweight Diego Pacheco. How are you doing?
I'm great, man. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Everything's gone very well as a pro so far, I think it's fair to say. But you have what is on paper your toughest challenge so far next week against a fellow unbeaten prospect, albeit one who has spent most of his career so far out in Brazil. In Lucas Diabru. What do you make of him as a fighter, and how easy has it been to see some of his previous fights?
I think he's a good boxer. He's good enough to beat the guys he's beaten, but he's never been in there with someone like me. So I'm real confident in this fight, and I feel like it's going to be a great win for my resume and my development.
Now, as it's your first time on the channel, let's take you back in time a little bit. You were an 8-time national champion, went to the World Juniors, just a very decorated amateur career. What made you decide to turn pro as young as you did, rather than wait around for an Olympic berth for Mexico, I believe was on the cards?
Yeah, there was a lot of things. When I was down there in Mexico with the Olympic team, they promised me a lot of things and told me things were going to be a certain way, and then they ended up not being that way. So it's just as a team, me and my family, we got together and we discussed all our options and decided that going pro with Matchroom was the best option. And being an Olympian was my dream, but sadly it didn't happen. I turned pro at a young age, and I'm happy with the decision, and I'm happy with where I am now.
What was it about Matchroom specifically that stood out? Because I'm sure there were a lot of promoters clamoring for your signature.
Yeah, honestly, everything all around the contract was great. Everything that they told me they were going to do for me, they did, and from the beginning, everything was really good with them. The relationship was amazing, and it was just a click with Matchroom and everyone down there, and yeah, it's been great with them. I'm really happy to be with them.
And you're 6'4", which is absolutely huge for a super middleweight.
Yeah.
What are the secrets for kind of aspiring boxers out there in terms of making the weight? How do you manage it? How difficult is it also?
It's honestly not hard for me at all. I'm walking around like 171, 172.
Wow.
And I'm strong, feeling strong at 168. I think I'll be at this weight for a few more years. Definitely try to get a title at this weight first before moving up. But yeah, man, making 168 isn't difficult. I feel really good at there, and yeah.
So what is the secret? Is it just kind of living the life year round rather than just when you're in camp?
Yeah, exactly. Just staying in the gym, really loving the sport, and just staying in shape year round, not taking too much time off, and just doing everything you have to do to be a great boxer.
You're trained by Rudy Garcia. Is he someone that you worked with before you turned pro? Is that when a bond developed?
Yeah, I started training with Rudy Garcia when I was 14.
Well,
yeah, and yeah, I've been with him ever since. We have a great relationship from the amateurs, and now in the pros, we're done a good job together.
And I believe your father's quite instrumental in your career as well. So tell us a little bit about that.
Oh yeah, my dad's the one that got me into boxing. He's the one that really has been supporting me since day one and believed in me like no one else. If it weren't for my dad, yeah, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be boxing. I wouldn't be doing anything. He supports me every day. He's with me every day. So yeah, my dad's a really big part in my success.
Did he box himself, or a big boxing fan?
Yeah, he never boxed. He's just a really big boxing fan. My dad came to the U.S. when he was 14. So he got straight to working and no school, no nothing. Yeah, he didn't have the support or the money or anything to be able to do things like boxing. He came here and he had to go straight to work. And yeah, that was it. But he was always a big boxing fan, and he tells me that even before I was born, he knew he wanted his son to be a boxer. Yeah, so
It's lucky you had the talent for it then, I guess.
exactly, yeah.
Good stuff. Who are kind of your, or still now, who are your boxing influences? Who do you watch and that you take elements from?
There's a lot of guys that I watch, man. One of the guys who I love to watch a lot is back then was Romanel Marquez.
Hmm.
I was one guy who I loved how even every time he got knocked down, he'd get back up and keep fighting. He was able to adjust. Yeah, just a great boxer, and he's one of the guys that I watched as a kid, and really, I saw myself doing the things he did, you know.
And what's the kind of time scale for you in terms of, I guess, first of all, getting into the top 15s of the major sanctioning bodies and then challenging for titles? Because I believe I read somewhere you're looking to win a world title by the time you're 22 or while you're 22.
Yeah, of course. This fight here is supposed to be my last 8-round fight, and then step up to 10 rounds. I think I'll be 21 in March next year. So maybe all my 21 fighting for those 10 rounders. And then hopefully by 22, I'll have a shot at the world title.
How do you assess the landscape at the moment on the world scene in your division? Obviously, there's a huge fight taking place next month between Canelo and Caleb Plant. We could start there. What do you make of that? Who do you see coming out on top? Because that's for all the belts.
Yeah, I have Canelo. I personally have sparred with Canelo, and he's a great boxer. He's really strong. So much experience. I don't think Caleb has what it takes to beat Canelo. I think Canelo will be the undisputed champion at this weight, and yeah, we'll see what happens after he's undisputed and see what his next step is.
When did you spar Canelo and how did that get set up?
I sparred him. I was in his camp for his fight with Callum Smith.
Hmm.
Yeah. Actually, one of his a guy on his team who knew me recommended me to spar with him because of my height. Obviously, I'm 6'4", Callum's 4. So yeah, that's how that happened. I went to San Diego and I was working with him for a while, and I was supposed to fight on that undercard, and I was I was sick. It wasn't COVID. I had a flu, and that's the reason I needed to pull out of that fight, and I didn't fight on that undercard. But that experience sparring with Canelo was amazing, and I learned a lot working with him.
Having spent time with him in camp, when you saw the injury that Callum Smith suffered in their fight, and then Canelo talking afterwards about how it was an intentionally caused problem by him, were you surprised at all, or had you got an inkling of what his strategy was? Or?
Yeah, I knew he was gonna do that because he was practicing that on me. He kept hitting my shoulder, and I knew that's what he was gonna try to do. He was gonna try to take away Callum Smith's left hook. That's exactly what he did. He got it done, and I kind of honestly picked it up from him a little bit because I hit my sparring partners a few times with those, and I've had some success. Yeah.
Wow. It must be incredible for you to get this level of sparring so early in your pro career, not just Canelo, but I know you sparred Zurdo Ramirez and other world-class guys. How much does that aid your development when at the moment in the ring, you're fighting guys who are a much lower level than world titleists?
Yeah, bro, it's crazy to me. Like when I'm in there with these guys, like I'm currently in training camp with David Benavidez right now and Gabriel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so when I'm sparring all these guys with hella experience, it's not just everything I learned and the tips they give me. It's just myself in my head. Like it gives me this confidence where I'm like, man, I'm sparring the best in the world. Like these guys that I'm fighting, you know, they're not going to be as good as them. So it's a for sure confident booster, and yeah, just all the tips they give me, everything is always amazing.
Now, just before I let you go, because I know there's a lot of other people keen to speak with you, just tell the Seconds Out audience how they can find you on social media, what your handles are.
You guys can follow me on Instagram, Real Diego Pacheco, and on Twitter, Real D Pacheco. And yeah, just follow my journey to becoming world champion, and don't miss my fight next week on the 16th on DAZN.
Excellent. Really appreciate your time. And yeah, I'll be tuning in. So I look forward to watching it.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Take care.